Right then, so the Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn interview with Piers Morgan is now out, and we are now going to go through that in this video because I believe that a lot of it, actually, if you read in between the lines, Conor Benn in ways kind of exposed himself actually, you know, of 100% taking the substances that he was found guilty for back in October of 2022. Let's get right into it now then. So, yeah, let's go. Let's start off here then with what we've got.
We're a lot smarter than you.
Was there drugs in your system?
This is you talking personally.
Was there drugs in your system?
Maybe not. None of your business.
Okay, so straight away, I think a comment there basically confirms that there were drugs in Conor Benn's system no matter what. Whether they accidentally got there, whether he took them. I find it very hard to believe that, drugs can accidentally end up in your system. But, I think this statement right here proves
Was there drugs in your system?
This is you talking personally.
Was there drugs in your system?
Maybe not. None of your business.
I think it proves it. And literally the moment after Chris Eubank Jr. asked Conor Benn, is there drugs in your system? And then Conor Benn was like, there could be. Piers Morgan then stepped in here and then, the whole thing of it, we couldn't even get a full-on answer. We haven't been able to get a full-on answer from Conor Benn. It's a yes or no answer. Was there drugs in your system? And right there, he did not deny that there was drugs in his system. No matter what, how you feel about it, whether it was accidental, whether he did take them on purpose. No matter what, clearly there was drugs in Conor Benn's system from the answer that we got here. And either way, he is a drug cheat because there was drugs in his system. So, yeah, there we go.
Business. I've been cleared 3 times.
He's saying, he's been cleared 3 times. Where's the evidence that he has been cleared 3 times, though? It's the exact same thing. We're not hearing or seeing any evidence that it's happened. With a big thing going on like this, you expect to see something. And a big point I want to make as well is, you see a lot of these, big time boxers, get caught. They get away with it because, there's money involved. Lower level boxers, you don't ever really hear about any news of them being cleared or going through all this. Like, you don't hear it. Money's involved. That is why Conor Benn has been cleared. He did not even deny that there was drugs in his system. There was drugs in his system.
It's my business when you were preparing to fight me.
Yeah, but you don't know the inside. You think you know. Well, let me try to explain it to you.
Let me ask you.
I think Chris Eubank Jr. has really put him on the spot. And here we go then. Piers Morgan starts to bloody muttering.
Conor, on that point, because you raised it at one of the press conferences, and it's a valid point. Do you accept that these substances were found in your body?
Yeah, so he actually did ask him a question about it there. Now we got an advert, which we're going to have to get through. But, I just feel like, in a way, Piers Morgan kind of stepped in and saved Conor Benn. And Eubank Jr. just asked him this question, basically. Were there drugs in your body? And, Piers Morgan's repeated. I just feel like Eubank Jr. almost had him in the right spot, had him where he wanted him when asking him the questions. Piers Morgan then stepped in, literally asking what Eubank asked him. And now, again, a big pause, though. A big pause. That is something that has to be noticed. A massive pause in Conor Benn. Can you accept that there were drugs in your system? And he pauses for about 10 seconds before answering the question. It's again a real bloody telltale sign.
Were found in your body.
How many seconds did he pause?
There's nothing to accept.
No.
It's the fact.
No.
And then as soon as Eubank starts talking, that's when Conor Benn says no. I honestly, the more you think about it, the more you think Conor Benn's actually done it, if I'm being real. The more I hear him speak on this situation, the more I think that Conor Benn is guilty of it. He blamed the whole thing on eating too much eggs. Like, if that's not something to start off with by telling you that this man's guilty, I don't know what is. I don't know what is.
No.
It's the facts.
Because
you can just tell by how he's
I never took anything knowingly. I never took
anything knowingly. So he's never said, though, that drugs were not in his system. Drugs were in his system.
But that's a different question.
Yeah.
Whether you took it knowingly or not, do you accept that they were
I struggle
found?
to accept it still.
Because you don't want to accept it.
I struggle to accept it.
Let's say that he
Well, hang on,
was an
hang on,
accident.
quick.
No, I need to say
And
that.
now here we go. This is where Piers Morgan's really starting to, Eubank Jr. is trying to make a point about it, trying to get even more out of Conor Benn, and here comes Piers Morgan to the rescue.
Let's say it was an accident.
No, but
let's give him the benefit.
Yeah, so Chris Eubank Jr. is basically trying to say that. Say it was an accident, but I mean,
the doubt.
No, but that's first of
He
all.
didn't know how the drugs
trying to
went.
go into a different scenario, and here comes bloody Piers Morgan stepping in.
Wait a second. First of all, let's acknowledge the fact that he's accepted.
I don't need to acknowledge anything.
Well, I know you don't need to, but I do.
So Piers Morgan's just bloody ruined the whole thing there. Piers Morgan just ruined the whole thing. Yeah, it was about to get even more interesting, but no, Piers Morgan had to bloody ruin it all.
And the viewers, I think from the point of view of the
drugs were in his
viewers,
system, whether he knew about them or not.
I'm going to come to that.
They were in his system.
Chris.
Exactly. Chris Eubank Jr. is nailing it down on this. No matter what, drugs were in Conor Benn's system. He was guilty. And no matter what, you've got to get a ban for it. If there were drugs in your system, you need to be aware of what's going on with your diet and how are these drugs getting into your system. I find it very difficult to believe, though, that, you unknowingly take some banned substance. Like, how can that suddenly be implanted into some food or something like that? Like, your team know about it. You would know about. I find it very hard to believe that's the case. There were drugs in Conor Benn's system, and he took them knowingly as well. That is most likely the scenario. If you failed the drug test, there were drugs in your system, and it's difficult to take them without knowing. I'm
going to come to that. For the purposes of the interview, though.
Like, you'd be able to tell as well. There's going to be telltale signs as well. Conor Benn should have known. Oh, it's all...
Viewers watching.
But yeah, Piers Morgan just playing interrupted all that. But yeah, anyway, let's go to 46 minutes in now. 46 minutes 39. Let's get to that. Let's just get here.
Andrew,
I'm not upset.
And just generally as well, Chris Eubank Jr. has got Conor Benn where he wants him and really well, riled up.
You are. That's all.
I'm not upset.
My dad put
me and you are fighting. Whatever happens between us.
This is about the egg slapping all that.
My dad would put his arms around you. What are you going to do about it?
No one else.
Now the Roid Rage is about to come out, and Conor Benn's going on about how Eubank disrespected Nigel Benn after Nigel Benn did, grab Eubank by the neck after. I mean, obviously, it's an understandable reaction from Nigel Benn, but Roid Rage comes out of Conor Benn, and Conor Benn has disrespected Eubank Jr.'s relationship with Senior, even though, he was saying in this interview, oh, I hope you can get the relationship back. Chris Eubank Jr. wasn't really having any of that because of the shit that Conor Benn's talked about the whole situation before. So Conor Benn has been disrespectful about it.
Tell me,
no one else can touch me.
I do think Conor Benn's being a bit of a hypocrite with the whole situation.
If they do, there'll be consequences.
And also, I just, I think Eubank Jr. is just doing it just to piss Conor Benn off. Like, I think he's saying it just to annoy him and all that. Like, I don't really think it's anything deep overall. Conor Benn's, gave it out himself as well. So, you can't have it both ways.
It's what?
If anyone else,
and again, the Roid Rage comes out.
If anyone else touches me,
if I was to slap you right now, what are you going to do about it?
Junior didn't even flinch.
Yeah, go on, go ahead.
Yeah, talk about my dad.
I'm not talking about your dad.
But you spoke about Senior though, and before as well, in the first press conference before anything happened with Eubank Jr. and Nigel Benn, Conor Benn was always bringing up the situation with Chris Eubank Jr. and Chris Eubank Sr. Conor Benn was the first one to bring, the dad relationship into the whole conversation before Eubank Jr. said, "Oh, you're not going to get your hand back if you put your hands on me again tonight, Nigel Benn." Conor Benn started off the whole, dad stuff. So I do think he's a massive hypocrite when it comes to all this, and Eubank Jr. is just doing it to piss him off, and Eubank's getting the reaction that he wants.
No, but I told him. I told him. Get off me, please. My old man would never touch you, so your old man's never going to touch me.
I'll never slap you.
Yeah, and to be fair though, like I do get Chris Eubank Jr. saying that he's not happy with Nigel Benn grabbing his neck and stuff like that. And Eubank Jr., to be fair though, if you do think about it, did he have the right to slap Conor Benn in the face with the egg? Probably yes, because Conor Benn's a drug chief.
You would never slap me. Yeah, no, you put your hands on me twice since my last fight.
When?
Push again though, yeah. Obviously, Eubank Jr. is saying that Benn pushed him and all that, but again, Benn has put his hands on Eubank Jr. as well. Like, again, you can't have it both ways, Conor Benn. You can't have it both ways.
I mean,
push, a little push.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. You put your hands on me.
Little push and stuff.
You put your hands on me.
And again, right here, though, when Eubank Jr. is saying this, Conor Benn's trying to land one on Eubank. So again, he's being a hypocrite here. He's literally trying to land something on Eubank Jr. You can literally tell by how he's moving about. He's trying to get to Eubank Jr. and land something. And I just feel like the whole thing is really hypocritical from Conor Benn. It really is. Anyway, let's go to here then. Christ. Hurry up and get this over with. Jesus Christ. But yeah, I if I'm being real, I just feel like Conor Benn's being hypocritical about a lot of the situation. I really do. I know. It's strange to see. It is strange to see. Anyway, we're about to get on to the next clip right now then. Here we go. Right.
For the fact you're both...
Piers Morgan then goes on saying how, can you both shake hands? You're two professional athletes and all that.
Professional boxers.
Piers.
And you both know what that entails.
He has no class. You just slap me around the head with an egg.
Yeah, and Conor Benn failed a drug test. 2 drug tests.
Going to shake my hand. He has 0 class.
And Conor Benn was the one who started to, try and get a strap going before the fight in the interview. But all right. He's saying that Eubank's someone with no class.
I've shaken the hands of pretty much every man I've ever fought. But if you cheat, that respect, it goes out the window.
Again, I just feel like Eubank Jr. is banging on about all of this whole thing, to be honest with you. Like, he's got all the rights to be annoyed at what Conor Benn did. And he did say earlier on in the interview as well that, they were asked about, do you want each other to get out safe after the fight and stuff? And, they both said yes, basically. Like, Benn did, and then Eubank said, yeah, what he said was true. And, obviously one of his opponents went in to the hospital after their fight, is in a wheelchair now. And, after Conor Benn taking PEDs, it just puts that kind of thing at risk once again. So, and Eubank Jr. is bang on about that.
Sorry.
Your opinion.
I have to make an example.
It's not an opinion that Conor Benn failed a drug test, though. It's not an opinion. Like, it's happened. It did happen. And there's money involved in this whole thing as well. We all know. Where's the evidence? Where's the proof of Conor Benn being cleared? He failed a drug test. He's literally, if you read between the lines, has basically admitted to, having PEDs in his system. Whether he took them knowingly or not, we'll have to say that. But he literally basically has admitted to having PEDs in his system. So, yeah.
There are kids that are going to watch this. They need to understand, if you get caught,
cleared,
you lose everything. You lose your respect, you lose your name, you lose...
And exactly. He's bang on with all of this.
That he's been cleared by all the official
I don't want to keep
bodies.
going over it, Piers.
No, but why don't you accept
he got caught with performance-enhancing drugs.
So why fight him? Why not say, I refuse to fight this guy?
Because this fight is... it's unprecedented. It's never happened in the history of boxing. And he's going to fight...
Where's the other bit?
But you won't shake his hand.
Contradicting. He's an idiot.
But understood. I'm here to set an example, and I'm here to get this kid out of boxing.
So, you know, Eubank Jr. is just wanting to try and end the drug sheet Conor Benn. That's what we're getting from this. I mean, they go back to Conor Benn's old interview. Should have done it further away.
That's been the hardest fight today. Everything. I've done everything.
I honestly, as well,
more he could have
something that does have to be said. Piers Morgan is very clearly siding with Conor Benn in this fight. Like, Piers Morgan very clearly wants Conor Benn to win. I feel like that was clear throughout the whole interview. Like, I feel like he is very clearly pro Team Conor Benn. Like, that is clear to see.
Be done is he could have not failed those drugs tests. It's as simple as that. If you fail, you're a cheat for the rest of your life.
I feel like, you know, this is exactly how most people feel about these drug cheats in boxing.
But that's not always true, is it?
It's true.
There are a number.
Piers Morgan now trying to get involved, but there's money involved, Piers. And as I said earlier on in the video, there is, you know, look at these lower level boxers. They don't get cleared for failing drug tests. Look at Liam Cameron, for example. He didn't even take any PEDs. He was on cocaine, not even like, you know, a performance enhancing drug. And he was out of the sport for like 5 years and, you know, couldn't do anything about it. Conor Benn's been able to pay all this money because he's a higher level name. Money was involved. Conor Benn's basically admitted to drugs being in his system as well. Yeah.
Number of sports.
See, you know, these drug tests are very bloody reliable. They are reliable. Like, when we hear things about all these drug tests, it's either that the boxer took drugs unknowingly. Either way, though, you were still guilty for having them in your system. So I don't get why you do get cleared for taking them unknowingly. Second of all, as I've been saying throughout the video, how can you take performance-enhancing drugs unknowingly? It's something that I can't get my head around and is very difficult to do.
A female who every year failed. So true that everyone.
If you fail, in my eyes, if someone was to have pinned him down and jabbed the syringe into the side of his ass and squeezed it in, if that had happened and I saw it, guess what? He's still a cheat. He shouldn't have let it happen. It's his responsibility to protect himself at all times. He didn't do that. He's a cheat. End of story.
And, you know, Eubank Jr. very clearly is, you know, pretty annoyed at this whole situation. Like, it is... I feel like people need to take it more seriously of what Conor Benn's actually done. And, you know, he's still got loads of fans out there as well, somehow. Even though with how he's been acting about everything. I find it strange. But and then you see Piers Morgan once again. I mean, God knows how much he actually even watches boxing. But, I mean...
Last chance.
Don't ask me again, Piers.
He's like, give him one last chance to shake his hand. He's already explained he doesn't want to shake hands with a drug cheat. There we go. Anyway, I think Eubank Jr. is clearly winning the mental games. And he basically nailed on everything that had to be said, but obviously Piers Morgan bloody stepped in at times. So, but I think it's clear to see as well from at times what we saw from Conor Benn at the start of the interview, especially Conor Benn is guilty. He had drugs in his system.